Hello and welcome everyone. I hope you all are having a great day. And today we are back with another lesson on manifestation. And let's get straight into it. Understanding the inner world and how to navigate using this information. So, most of us are programmed or taught that the world that we see is external and it has no correlation with internal. But in terms of manifestation, this whole world that we perceive is a holographic simulation. And it's not taught to us, is not informed to us. It comes down to remembering it. That's what, when I speak these words about it being a holographic simulation, etc., deep within you would feel a sense of remembrance or like understanding, connection with whatever I say, because the soul within you knows what I'm saying is right and it wants you to activate yourself and think more about it and awaken finally into understanding that everything that you perceive in the external world is created first internally. And now, when we look at the physical components of it, yes, it is hard to believe that how can the earth, such a big piece, exist within me that I look so tiny in comparison. But that's the thing, there is no greater than, higher than, duality, polarity. It's just an illusion at the end of the day. That's how it is. There's no size, there's no greater than, there's no bigger. It's just a nice movie that you're enjoying right now, because you as consciousness, let's take it as an example of being in a dream state of mind, right? Consciousness is me. I'm currently, just imagine this, vision this. This is how you have to perceive reality, and that how the holographic projection is actually working right now. So I'm just in a bed. My name is consciousness. I'm in a bed, laying down, and I'm just in a dream state of mind, and everything is mental. And I'm just experiencing right now me, Fadil, speaking to you guys, teaching you about manifestation, but none of it is real because I'm just sleeping on a couch and just dreaming away and going through an entire experience. Like when you're in a capsule, like you must have seen in movies where you're in a capsule, they attach these things and you go into a dream state. You think things are real, but it's not actually real. And that's what we're actually experiencing in this world right now. So it's a matter of not learning something new. Everything that exists already has existed, is existing inside the confinements of consciousness, and it will forever exist. So it's a matter of remembering all these information. Nothing new is significantly created in this world. Everything is existed, will exist, is existing, always lies within consciousness. So it's just a matter of remembering the information that we need. And new technologies, whatever that comes out, is not actually new. We have this information within us. It's a matter of activating it and digging deeper into what already is there in the confinements of the quantum field that I always talk about. When you're in mind heart coherence, you tap right into the quantum field. That is basically, in simple terms, by being in the present moment. So let's get into an understanding through visual context. This is the earth that we currently habitat and reside in. This is the Milky Way, and there's multiple Milky Ways with multiple galaxies and planets within these Milky Ways. And you know what's interesting? I like to call this the entire cosmos. You know where all of this originates from? Since this whole world that we experience is a holographic simulation and that everything is formed within us, it lies within us. There's no other explanation of it, right? It's you. You are the creator of this whole cosmos, and everything is responsible to you, using your energy that lies within you. And that's how great as beings we are. But we don't need to take it from a perspective of, yeah, we are God or whatever. Like, the power of God, the energetic power of God is flowing through us. Consciousness. Now, let's take away from the topic of God and go into consciousness. Consciousness is the resting space of all the infinite energy that lies within us, that helps us manifest this entire cosmos into existence. Perfect. So everything lies within us, and there is nothing that we should externalize, because the whole game is played mentally, right? It's just a mental game where we activate different thoughts, different visions, put in the energy into it by focusing on it, by giving our attention to it, and it gets manifested into our reality. Very simple terms, right? So now that you know that everything is creative within, the entire cosmos, the table, the chairs, the plants, the whiteboard, everything's been created within us. Now, what do we do with this information? And just before I get into what do we do with this information, there might be many people who watch this and they think, oh, this guy's full of shit. Like, there's no, I mean, no one ever thinks that about me. But just in case if anyone ever has a question about, oh, is this not actually a holographic simulation? I'm not here to argue or debate with anyone whether it is or not. Whoever believes that it's a holographic simulation has believed by seeing, by feeling, and then they eventually experience it, right? So if you're in a crossroads, I'll explain to you how you can see, like, you're in a 50-50. Yeah, I heard that's a simulation, but I'm not sure. And maybe you're on the side of like, no, it's not. I'll explain it to you. And if there's someone who's against it entirely, you cannot experience the holographic simulation unless you believe in it. So to convince you to believe in it, you have to first make that mental shift into believing, and then you can experience it. So I can't help it when someone doesn't believe, and many people are stuck in the mindset of seeing is believing, but we can only see a small percentage, like 0.1 percentage, and then there's like the rest, that is the unimaginable, everything that is beyond our imagination, but we can always manifest it using our mind. So there's no limitations on what you can do, and everything is possible. Now, when it comes to someone who wants to understand that is this actually a holographic simulation, the best way that I've learned and understood this is by understanding synchronicities. This was one of the best experience for me to understand, like, whoa, it is actually a holographic simulation, everything, right? So synchronicities is basically the universe or God or higher self sending us signs that we are in alignment or a deeper meaning towards things. Synchronicities can be in terms of numbers like 111 or 222, 333. There's so many variations. So it's just basically numerology, and that could be a synchronicity. It could be like you think of someone and then they call you, or like a picture of someone that is thinking about you or you're thinking about them, and you have a significant journey with this person that you probably have. So it's just basically sending you synchronicities that are actually derived as signs from the universe or reality. And that's how you work hand in hand with life or reality. Because most people, when they face challenge, they're like, life really sucks, life hates us. And that's because you haven't formed this correlation with life, because you haven't formed a connection with your inner world. Once you fix and heal your inner world, you start experiencing that reality and life is actually working out in your favor. And then that's how you get sent synchronicity signs that shows that you're in alignment with your higher self, or God is sending you sign if you're a believer in God. And so it's just, you can take it how it is, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to assumptions. So 111, 222, 333, all of these people would say, oh, this means I'm in highest alignment. It's just the law of assumptions. Even there are no laws, but like, it's just you assume that 222 means life is going to get good. 111, high alignment. 999, endings. 666, I'm on a spiritual journey. So you just attach whatever you feel like at this point, and everything unfolds in terms of what emotion or assumptions you've held on to that, right? So you can attach emotional assumptions to anything. You can tell that this bottle of water is the most beautifulest and nourishing piece of bottle of water that nourishes my soul. And now you've attached an positive assumption to it, and that has an emotional connection to it, because whenever you think about nourishment, healing, or like, it's such a great water that nourishes my soul, it's immediately turning on and releasing chemical reactions within your body that makes you feel good. And so when you sip this bottle of water, it makes you automatically feel good. So when it comes down to synchronicities, let me explain my story about how I experienced the holographic projection, even apart from the many glitches and everything that I perceive, because the eyes can only see so much, but when you start believing internally before seeing it, you can actually experience and see a lot of things that you never experienced before. And I know it becomes quite overwhelming in the beginning, but as you get good with it, and as you understand yourself and understand that you are in a constant journey of learning what reality has and what your inner state can possibly limitlessly accomplish, you will be, more in sync. You'll be more in calmness of like what you can experience, because anything is possible at this point. When I So growing up in Dubai, where I reside, there's a lot of fancy cars, and the number plates over here have a lot of value. So I was always observing number plates in cars over here. But let's take into significance number plates. And finding a really nice number plate in this country is, okay, quite possible. It's quite common. But finding it with synchronicities like numbers like 111, 222, 333, and like, recurring back and forth, like a lot of recurrence, is quite difficult, because I was always observing it. You can find like decent numbers like 2 digit, 3 digit, but like finding 5 digits that start with, like, let's say for example, 11102 or 555505, and like, you'd see these numbers in trucks or transportation trucks, or like you'd see it in like the most shittiest cars, which were never possible because I was always observant about number plates. But when I awakened my mind towards consciousness, when I started becoming highly self-aware, started believing in numerology, started believing in these things, and like, I became one with reality. I started working in sync. I didn't see life as something against me, but I saw life as something that's working hand in hand with me. And then I started getting signs from reality. It sends it to me in billboards or whatever, like, numbers, symbols. It's just talking constantly. Like, go, like when I'm confused, I'm like, give me a sign to understand what next steps I should take. I could just pass by a billboard and be like, vision more, and get to the next step. Or like, sometimes I see karma, and I usually have positive assumptions about it. So one day I just saw a billboard just written with karma property developments, and I'm like, oh wow, so there's something positive coming towards my way. And so there's a lot of ways that you can see synchronicities, and this is the exact proof of holographic simulation. Now when it comes down to like explaining it further, there's this red car theory, right? When you think about a red car, your mind is focused on finding red cars on the street or yellow cars. So this is the kind of way where what your mind is focused on, and that's what exactly you will see or basically manifest. So you start thinking about high-rise buildings, is what you'll see, or like anything of the sorts, is your eyes will take you exactly towards focusing on that, because that's your dominant thought process. And this shows you that, the world is a holographic simulation. So with that being said, I hope most of you can believe and understand now. So keep an eye out for synchronicities now, because numerology is real. It's basically the way of saying, uh, sending you signs, the universe, God, higher self. So you can attach your own assumptions towards whatever it is. I just like to like not go too in depth, because at the end of the day, all I like to believe in is that thoughts create reality. So whatever thoughts that I hold is always going to be the final thing. So there's no numbers or astrology that can have an impact on my life. Like, some people are like, oh, when the dates are this date, you will experience this. No, whatever your mind is fixated on is exactly how it is. And sometimes they become right because the people that they tell it to believe these people, because they're kept in a position of power, and that words that they say will be registered into their subconscious, and it gets manifested in their life. And then they'll be like, oh my god, it's actually true. This person told me that on this date and this time, when the sun and the moon and the stars are exactly aligned, that this would happen to me, and it happened to me. Yeah, because you believed them. You shouldn't have believed them. You should have created your own reality, and you can defy your destiny and create your own destiny at the end of the day. So with that being said, how to navigate using this information into your advantage when you know everything in this world is within you. So that means your parents, your friends, your wife, girlfriend, whatever, husband, everything is within you, right? Your business, your work, everything is within you. And so, how do you create abundance here, and abundance in every aspect of your life? How do you create the best possible relationship? How do you create the best possible business? Because when everything is internal, by changing your assumptions, by creating self-belief systems, right? Creating belief systems will creating belief systems will entirely reconfigure your external reality. The more you change your inner world, the more you reconfigure the external world. So when you start, it all works on vibrations and frequencies. So you got to embody that vibrational state of who you are. And who you are is what's going to attract the gifts of fortune of that vibration state you're in, or tap into the frequency of receiving whatever it is you're embodying. So if you, let me break it down for you. So if you are someone who is currently embodying the version of you who has accomplished all his dreams, who's a confident person, who is a man and woman of value, and who has the best relationships, who has the best business, and you are standing on your business, you are standing on purpose right now, your vibrational state is now of someone who's standing on business and on purpose. So you're standing on biz. And so now what happens is you're a magnetizing energy that is able to attract all of the gifts. Now you attract all the gifts. So if it's clients that you want, if it's a girlfriend or a wife that you don't have that you want, if it's your parents that are mistreating you, or if it's your friends that are mistreating you, you start now attracting better friendships, your better relationship with your parents or your wife or your whatever business clients, because now you confidently believe, by creating a belief system, that you are in a state of receiving. You are in a relaxed state, because when you are relaxed, you tap into the quantum field, because you're in the present moment where all the infinite wisdom and knowledge that's required for you to take the inspired action exists in. And now you attract all the gifts that you are in a state of receiving for. So that could be clients, that could be good relationships, that could be any kind of positive outcomes what you're embodying at this present moment. So if you are someone who's vibrating at the state of confidence, which is the highest level, I feel, in my personal opinion, where you don't give a shit about anything that you say or do, but you are standing on purpose because you know you're confident what you're doing is towards the highest good of civilization and for yourself. And so when you stand on this and when you're vibrating, the gifts come in. That is, if it's clients, relationships, like how I mentioned. So you have to believe that you are the best in your reality, that your confidence is at the peak, or like, you have the best clients, or you're a magnet for the gifts of fortune, or you are in the receiving end of something. Whatever it is, you just have to believe. You have a lot of work and um, payments and bills to meet. You got to believe that the bills have been paid and you're a man of richness and abundance, and you have to stay fixated on it. Release whatever emotion that you have pent up that keeps you in a fear state of programming, by letting it out in a safe space, whether it's in your house, by if it's anger, if it's fear, speak it out, write it in a book, or like, just smack into some pillow and let those emotions release. Because as you let it out into the 3D world, your nervous system is relaxing now, because it's pent up everything inside, and now you make more space for your nervous system to have room for new belief systems to take over. Every breath that you take in is just filling up your body and cells with nourishment now, because you've let go of emotions and feelings that don't no longer serve you. So it's very important that you create these belief systems, because these belief systems are responsible for you going and vibrating at a certain frequency, and in turn gets you the gifts that you need. So as I mentioned, how to navigate using this information, I hope most of you have understood that everything is based on what you believe, what you strongly wish to possess. You should never be like, oh, in the future state, it's like you have your vision that this is what I want to achieve in the future, but you got to tap into the emotions. You got to tap into the thoughts of that future version of you. And that doesn't mean you get upset when it doesn't come. You don't chase it anymore, because you're vibrating at this frequency. Because there's a major concept that I have to touch point on: time. Anything in this external world is an illusion, right? Everything in this external world is an illusion, not in a bad way, that it's an illusion, but it's just distractions, right? Like, there's something called the concept of time, which a lot of us keep getting caught up with, saying, oh, I don't have time to take care of my health because I don't have the time, I'm busy with my work, I'm busy building my business. So there's a lot of us that gets caught with the concept of time and tell that we don't have time. But time at the end of the day is an illusion. It's here to trap you in the 3D. You gotta believe that the minute that you create a belief system, that you've created a belief system and that you can feel it, you can see it as a vision, and you've embodied it, you really know that this is entirely possible because you know that thoughts create your reality, and you believe in manifestation, and you believe in the concepts that whatever I teach you, that with time progressing, the physical world time, 3D world time, you will eventually achieve whatever it is that you want because you believed. And the stronger you believe, the faster it comes into existence, right? So it can come in any kind of format. Like, you don't have to specifically be like, I want 10k dollars. It can be sometimes exactly 10k dollars, but it could come out in any sort of format. Like, it's just abundance. Don't get fixated on it because maybe higher self has a better plan for you. And so that's where the infinite possibilities of the quantum field comes into picture, right? Like, anything can happen, but it's in the best interest of you. And so don't get fixated when you get upset I didn't make it, because then you lose track of being grateful. Now, when you go back to time, what is the issue with time that everyone has is they believe we have to act fast or else we don't achieve what it is because time is of the essence. No, it's a mental state that is of the essence. The stronger that you believe that you are in that version who has already achieved whatever he or she has set out to achieve, the faster it comes into reality. You should perceive time as something positive, that it's actually here to help you reinforce your belief system. So what when you create a belief system, let's say for example, you believe you're confident, but obviously given the current circumstances you're not confident because you know very well it's hard for you to come in front of a camera, speak, whatever it is, go in for a meeting or an interview, whatever it is, you just know that you're not confident. But the more number of times you program yourself through meditation, guided meditation, affirmations, whatever it is that helps you to reinforce, this is where the physical reality 3D time comes into play, because time is actually helping you to reinforce these belief systems time and again by helping you solidify, build that foundation of your belief system, because you go now through a journey using time where you go into, okay, I'm going through a journey, then I want to be confident. So first step is you go and start meeting people and networking with them. Then you start going in front of a camera, for example, and speaking in front of the camera. And then you notice that the first time it's kind of hard. But as time goes by, you start getting confident and confident and confident. By the time you are now embodied that vibrational state of who you want to be, who you wanted to be. And then suddenly when you look around, you've attracted all the gifts that you wanted at all times, like the confidence that you wanted. And what gifts that brings along with it, like the confidence brings in like more clients or like more better job opportunities, whatever it is. When you have embodied that version of yourself, you will notice, and then you will look back and be like, you know what's interesting, that journey was quite fun because as I went through it, I built myself from a point of zero towards something great, because now you get reinforcement from external reality where people come forth and tell you, hey, you're doing a great job. I'm inspired by you. Can you teach me something? And then you're looking back like, shit, there was a time when I didn't know anything. That's why I always tell people, whoever message me and ask me, Fadil, can you help me with this or that? I was like, guys, just do it, because the first day is not the best. Like, you can give it your best because this is all the information and knowledge. And I know you perceive that you want to do this at this level, but you probably cannot, because this is all the information and the knowledge and the execution capabilities you have. Do exhaust that to the best of its capabilities, and then worry about it the next day, because the next day is a new day for you to give it another 100%. And then you keep building up on this every single day, and then you become really good at it. But there's so many people who don't even take the first step because they already want to be at the end result. They want to go from point A to point B without even making that small travel. They just want to jump to point B, and then you miss the entire journey, which is actually fulfilling you and helps you become grateful when you look back at it. And when you're at a state of gratefulness, you are being so thankful, and then the universe gives you more reasons to be grateful, and it's just an ever flowing river of abundance. And I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I don't have much more to say. If any of you have any questions and need some clarity, my Instagram DMs are always open. You can drop comments, whatever it is. And I hope each and every single one of you have a blessed day. Thank you.